r/AskReddit. What's an unspoken social rule that you feel people need to be reminded about? Only because it's someone's job doesn't mean you shouldn't say thank you. If you're walking down a hall side by side, be aware of your surroundings so you don't block people moving faster behind you. Give people more than fucking 15 centimeters of space when in lines. It gets to a point where I'm going to seem rude for asking to back off just because I don't want people to be so near me that they can literally jack me off. Don't cut in line. Your time is not more important. Your phone should always be on mute on conference calls unless you're actively engaged in the conversation. Always. Being rude or insulting people in public doesn't make you cool or savage. It makes you a douche. Blinkers are meant to signal that you're making a lane change, meaning you should use it before changing lanes. Which one of these is correct? A. Merge from an on-ramp slower than the speed limit. B. Merge from an on-ramp at the speed limit. C. Merge from an on-ramp faster than the speed limit. D. Merge from an on-ramp at the speed of the traffic with which you're joining. Hint: it's D. Don't stop for a conversation at the bottom of an escalator. If my headphones are in, I'm probably not open to conversation. When you're talking with someone and they take a step back, it means they need some personal space. Don't keep stepping closer to them. Music in public means headphones, earbuds. No headphones. No music. Wait for people to get off the elevator before you bum rush your way on. Other people around you want to live too. Not everyone wants to be hugged. Standing closer to me is not going to make the line move faster. I will assume you are trying to pickpocket me. Personal space. Be thoughtful and return your shopping cart to the collection area when finished with it. If you're eating and other people are within earshot, chew with your mouth closed. Nobody wants to listen to your crunching and lip smacking. When eating out with a group and splitting the bill, don't order something 3 times as expensive as everyone else. Don't buy several rounds of extra drinks if no one else is. If everyone has respected the above 2 rules, don't get pissy over your meal being $2 cheaper than someone else's. If you are the last person to pay, don't just pay what's left on the bill. Other people have added tips and you're just using their tip to pay less, shafting them and the waiting staff. Slower drivers. For fuck's sake, get in the right lane. When 2 people are walking in opposite directions on the street, always move to the right to avoid a collision or an embarrassing situation. No one cares to listen to your phone calls on your speakerphone while in the grocery store. No matter how loud you talk, you are still not an interesting person. Go ahead and hold the phone to your head and get brain cancer like the rest of us. When you are walking in public, especially in a crowd, look up instead of looking at your phone. Otherwise, you could bump into someone or subconsciously go slower and slower, annoying the person who can't quite get around you. If someone says they don't want to drink, don't push the issue. Insist or make them give a reason. Just accept it. Don't ask couples or females when they are having kids. If you agree with a comment, you don't have to say "came here to say this" or "yeah, this." These comments spam up the thread and don't add anything of value. A simple upvote shows your support. If you don't know someone, don't touch them. It's just an all-around bad idea. Respect personal space. When someone is talking to you, please let them finish. I hate trying to have a conversation with someone while they constantly interrupt you. Also, along the same lines, if someone else is having a conversation, don't jump in. Change the subject and ignore one of the people from the initial conversation. Unless it's a life and death situation, wait your turn. Wait in line. We learned this in kindergarten. People, come on. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. Just because we live in an age of opinions doesn't make them okay to spew when they hurt other people. You're not saying them to help. Then don't say them. There's a lot of ways to say things and how you say it can make the difference. Just because you can't stand silence doesn't mean everyone else can't. For the love of God, please turn off your video game music in public. Unless you have headphones. Get rid of it. Don't make it obvious you're not interested in something someone is telling you, especially if they seem really excited to tell you. It can be kinda shattering. Some people like to be left alone whilst on their work break. Perhaps have brought headphones. Are enjoying food or reading something. They're using their 15, 30 or however many minutes to briefly get away from work. That includes you. Potentially annoying coworker. Avoid listening to your music without headphones in public, please. And without asking anyone on the bus, train or in the street if their musical tastes match yours. Get off the phone in the movies. Cover your cough and sneezes. Saying please and thank you take no time and cost nothing. Retail workers are human beings too. And you're not more likely to get what you want by treating people like shit. Pick up your trash when you're out in public. If someone only gives short answers and does not try to continue the conversation, it means they don't want to talk. Don't comment on something someone can't change. Examples: dark under eyes, asymmetrical face, looking tired. If you take your baby somewhere out in public and they start crying, especially when it's otherwise quiet, take them to another room and take care of them. Pee goes in the toilet. Not on the toilet. Men are accused of this, which is fair enough, but I have worked a cleaning job where women are outrageous offenders. Do you just pretend to do the limbo and let it go? Is there a vestigial appendage that acts like the splashy lever arm on a sprinkler, or are you doing this with your fingers? But like, why no? Don't repost other people's art. If you live with roommates, don't touch, move, eat anything that isn't yours without permission. If you're close enough that I can feel the heat of your words on my face, you should take a few steps back and give me some space. It's weird and uncomfortable and my brain won't register any part of the conversation if I can feel your breath hitting me. If I'm holding the door open for you, don't just walk through it like I'm your doorman expecting a big tip. You gotta grab it. I'm just holding it so it doesn't shut in your face. Meet me halfway on this FFS. Stand on the left or the right side of the escalator, depending on what's normal in your country. Let people walk on the other side. Don't stand in the middle. Why would you even do that? Use your fucking signals while driving. Also, if you're gonna drive slow, especially on the freeway, move to the farthest right lane where the slow people drive. Please and thank you. Don't touch strangers. If you need to get someone's attention, say excuse me or hell wave your hand in front of them if you need to, but don't touch them. When you're sitting in traffic, you are basically waiting in a line. While it's not technically illegal to jump into the merge area of an on-ramp then run up past 5 cars and try to merge in again, it does make you an asshole. Get off your phone at the checkout. If you ask someone for something and they say no, don't ask again. It's fascinating. Many of the answers here seem to be very culturally Western, some quite particularly American. I think an unspoken social rule that many would be happier if they remembered is not everyone grew up with the same cultural tenets as yourself. Not every mistake is born of malice so much as ignorance. Sadly, being rude polite is not easily universal. Don't piss all over the seats of public bathrooms. I don't care if it's the road, the sidewalk, the grocery store aisle or a hiking trail through the mountains. If you're going to stop, pull over. This one goes out to everyone on here who goes to school. If someone's wearing headphones, that is 9 times out of 10 a sign of leave me alone. I'm just chillin' over here. If you see someone in a wheelchair, don't just cross in front of their path. Have some respect and make some room. My dad was in an electric wheelchair and people used to do this all the damn time, not realizing that he wouldn't necessarily be able to swerve or stop before running them over. They'd literally see him coming towards them from the opposite direction, make eye contact and still think they'd have time to cross in front, but would then have their legs feet run over. As a kid, occasionally he would accidentally run me over if I was in his blind spot, and can talk you that shit hurts. Those wheelchairs are solid and heavy. Don't play chicken with wheelchairs. Also, if you're sitting with somebody who is in a wheelchair, Don't just prop your foot up on their chair and rock it. People in wheelchairs are not babies. They don't need to be rocked to sleep with your foot. If you're a parent with a pushchair, stroller, stop pushing the baby in the road and standing on the pavement while waiting to cross a road. Never comment on the food choices of others. How the food looks. Or how they eat it. A friend of mine once mocked the school lunch another kid was eating, and it broke my heart because he clearly got free hot lunch and had no choice. For that matter, probably don't mock anybody's choices if they're personal and not hurting anyone. The wearing of deodorant is not optional. If you're in line at the grocery store and you have a bunch of stuff but the person behind you only has a few things, just let them go ahead of you. Also, don't go into the express lane when you have more than 10 items. That's very douchey. When you get something, you say thank you. And when you ask for something, you say please. Being polite doesn't cost you anything. Please stop deep kissing in public. I promise no one on this planet wants to see. It's fucking gross. Be mindful of where you are standing. It's incredible the amount of times people will just stop to chat right in front of a doorway. Or the bottom of stairs or stuff like that. Also, not everyone is so lazy that they can't freaking walk up the escalator. If you just want to stand there, then stay to the side. And don't get me started on people who can't even be bothered to walk when they're going down the escalator. Do whatever you want but stay to one side so other people can get by. 2 of my mains. Peer pressure is not cool. Doesn't matter how expensive the drugs are, if someone says no, respect their answer. If they change their mind, they will tell you. Treat others the way you want to be treated, as an ends in themselves and never as a means to an ends. One of the main examples that bugs the shit out of me when people cheat on their so and then lose their mind when they get cheated on. Like bro, you never respected that person's feelings when you chose to do that to them. Why expect anything more or less from them? If you're walking down the street with friends and 3 of you take up the entire sidewalk, leaving one friend trailing behind, you're garbage friends. If someone says wow, that's crazy 3 times, it's probably time to wrap up your story. If you can't make it, give a little common courtesy and let them know ahead of time. Thanks for watching, mate. Make sure to smash that star button for more high quality content.